Greetings. So I am making my way through the Magnus robots at chess.com, and now I am at Chief Magnus, rated 2000. And I hope you hang with me to the end because it is a pretty interesting end game, and I get a little sloppy here in the mid game, as you'll see. So I'm just going to try to quickly go through this and hopefully make this an interesting video. And here I should have definitely took the knight on c6 and threatened that queen. Instead of just here's the thing: I hate to move a piece twice. In a chess game, especially if it's evenly matched, they only last on average 42 moves. And if you move a piece twice during the opening, it's almost like losing a turn, which can make all the difference in the world. And so that's where it was definitely an inaccuracy on my part. But I want to show, for my own review and for the audience, all the good, the bad, the ugly, as they say. All right, so a little bit of an exchange. My opponent, Chief Magnus 2000, has lost the right to castle. And here, this D file is wide open. I have a major piece. Totally should have owned that piece, or owned that file, excuse me. And instead of worrying about this threat that doesn't really go anywhere. So that's where it's good for me to review my games. Now I got a isolated double stacked pawn. We both lost our knights. Is why I said it doesn't really go anywhere. And I could have been sitting pretty over here. And so now I have to be careful because this happens a lot, and it's a mistake I make from time to time. And is when you get these pieces lined up, and then a piece can come around and threaten like it is. I don't want to lose my rook. So now I'm forced to deal with this situation instead of setting up the things I want to set up. So sometimes if you're playing chess and you feel like you're just getting knocked around, it's probably because of things like this that stop you from setting things up. So anyway, enough about that. So I did decide to do, there's some other options here. I chose to go ahead and do this here and, force a check that has to be dealt with, which temporarily protects this piece. I could have pushed the pawn. I could have even done this. But where I'm lacking is there are two open files, the B and the D. I should be looking to own those files with a major piece. And E file is semi-open because there's only one pawn open on it. So I should be looking to do this kind of thing. And here, let's look at this. This is a check. And I did this during the game, but it doesn't really gain anything for me. It would have been more wise to own the B file, get this major piece on this B file. And, and I made so many videos, even in this Magnus series, where I talk about this and reviewing my games. I see that, I preach it, but I've fallen short several times in a lot of these games. But anyway, let's get going because I want to show you this right here. Okay, the reason why the computer gave this a brilliant mark is because, as you see, I got this bishop eyeing right here to f8. And if I come up here, the king's got to move. And so there's a lot I can do. I'm going to have two pieces attacking the f8. So some good stuff can come of this. And so that's what I'm finally, owning one of these open files here. So let's get to it. Computer says this was a mistake, that I should have went to the E3 square. and been a little more versatile. I was thinking at the time, I liked this idea, but it is easily defended. So computer certainly knows better than I do. And so I want to show, so here I'm threatening, I want to get to this end game because this is what I really want to, I wasn't even going to make this video, but I really want to get to this end game. Okay, and I'll show you, again, this is what was going on in my head. Let me go back just half a step here, a full step actually. I'm looking at doing this kind of thing. I think the computer says it's a mistake because the computer sees this as blocked. But hang with me, and there, now it's opened up. And so because this rook has stepped in front of the king, be careful when you put a piece in front of the king. Be careful, it's an immediate target, and if your opponent does it, you should be looking, what can I do? All right, so let's keep this going. I'm trying to make this a quicker video. All right, so I can still do this. So now this is what I call a hard pin. I think most people call it absolute pin, which is probably correct, but I have a habit of saying hard pin. I think I've heard a few other chess people say that as well. So anyway, I'm looking to do that exchange, and the reason why is because, yes, I realize I'm going to lose this pawn. However, look at my pawn structure, okay? And then I've got pawn way over here on the A file. My opponent's pawn structure is terrible. We both have dark squared bishops. I sacrificed a pawn for this position, but, one side, this king cannot be everywhere. One side or the other is going to queen, and that's what I was going for. Now, in the end game, you have to get your king out towards the center board, and he has to go to work. He can't just sit back and hide in a corner. So there's a little back and forth here, and I get a little sloppy. And the problem is I know that one of these guys is going to queen, and I still need to keep my pencil sharp. 2000 is a difficult bot to beat, and I drop down here, and I think, well, I'm just going to sit here and just work my magic, and oops, sorry about that. One of these guys is going to promote, and so but I should have still tried to control the center with my king. And besides, this pawn owns these two squares. My opponent needs too much time to come over here and drop down and get rid of this. By the time my opponent takes the time to do that, I will have queen. So should have been a little more careful, but here I go. So I'm like, I know that the king can't be everywhere, so it's like, which side does my opponent want to hop to? Okay, and then I'm just going to start. I've got marching pawns here, which are near impossible to stop. And there it goes. And so there's my promotion. Oh, now, when hang with me. I'm going to review the numbers too. So I want to show you a couple things about it. In the end game, I thought about clearing the way and making another queen, but that's so many moves. That's not good clean chess. I just wanted to. You see, I'm making a box for my opponent, smaller and smaller, and then I get my king into the action to help out so that the pieces can work together. Now, Chef Magnus is probably going to try to go for a stalemate, so just make sure that there's squares that doesn't happen, that they can still move in, and then there it is. So let's take a look at the numbers. That was move 60. 2000, I will share with my audience, is a difficult bot for me. But if I've got plenty of time, I can usually beat a 2000. 2300 I can 2400. Sometimes it takes a lot. I usually start crapping out around 2350. So the numbers come in. Okay, so this bot is rated 2000. Interesting. Computer had the play at 1800 for the bot. Had me at 2150. So one of my better games. Okay, and then what was the percentages? We'll say Magnus, Chief Magnus was at 78. It's at 89. Okay, so that's the game. I hope that helps. If it does, leave a comment. Give it a thumbs up. That helps me out, encourages me to make more videos. And I think the next one I saw is rated 2882, which I hate to have a shit attitude, but I cannot beat a 2882. But I will give it my best and try. And I might play this this bot again as the black and make a video and see how that goes as well. And so thank you for watching, and always I demand, or not, have a great day.